Minister, you're welcome to the House. I feel a bit bad standing up here today because you've had so many demands on you for funding going forward, and we're 239 billion in debt since COVID-19 hit this country. So I'm not sure how quickly the economy can bounce back. Certainly some parts can, but others will not bounce back that quickly. With respect to the national broadband rollout, Minister, I welcome the progress to date, but I do have some concerns, so I do. In particular, I'm concerned about the ambition of National Broadband Ireland to grow from its current 900 to 2,000, given the shortage of skills that there are in the country in the area of fibre optics and fibre optic work. I would have felt that the government should have seen this coming and laid on courses in both further education and third level to take care of that. I believe that you're now doing that, and I'd like you to confirm that today. Minister, I've taught courses in IT for over 25 years before I came into this House, and the one thing I learned in that 25 years is that technology moves forward at a pace, and the pace can be quite fast. And that brings forward my concern that we're in the middle of spending a small fortune on fibre optic connectivity, which we're expecting to last for the next 10 to 15 years. If I know nothing else, I know that 10 to 15 years in terms of IT is an awful long time. I wonder, Minister, has your department or communications considered the Plan B outlined by Brian Flanagan with respect to the use of low Earth orbit satellites? The EU has recently prioritised the delivery of high-speed broadband by satellite and has launched a major programme to establish a European-led LEO satellite service by 2025-2027. I believe that there are some 11 companies already operating in this country that are capable of delivering satellite. Now, I know people will say that the upload speed and download speeds do not compare with fibre optics, but over time they will improve, and it certainly would bring connectivity into the darkest corners of this country. The pandemic has highlighted the importance of fast, reliable broadband, and to ensure that people of all parts of the country can avail of a remote working education and essential online services. Indeed, the last speaker was speaking about families at home a number of members of the family trying to access at the same time. At present, 40% of households and businesses in Mayo County are without adequate broadband services. National Broadband Ireland's timeline of about 18 months for the National Broadband Plan to be delivered in the Ballina and Castlebar areas, but admitted that areas further out the county will have a longer wait for the service. Deputy Michael McNamara has referred to rural Clare will remain a broadband black hole right through 2021. Nearly a third of Kerry homes and businesses do not have quality broadband service, with some people paying for 2 services monthly in the hope of having a usable signal. Musk Corporation approached the Department of Rural and Community Development last year. Musk's Starlink pilot link is likely to initially involve just a single household. While there has been progress and COVID-related delays have set the time back. In an interview with the Farmers Journal, Minister Ryan has explained that it's because we cannot get people to install and people cannot travel from England. This is what I'm talking about, the training, Minister, that should have taken place. Given how critical broadband is to the functioning of every area in the economy, I'd like to ask what plans are in place to make up for the lost time, and will you now consider looking at satellite for the more remote areas? With respect to regional development, I constantly hear the term balanced regional development. I don't believe that such a concept exists or is possible. I believe that the centralised approach of government is probably the wrong approach, and we should focus more on the regional stakeholders who have the drive to maximise growth and development in their region. The top-down system of driving regional economies limits the capacity of the region to exploit its unique strengths. We must, for example, move away from stripping local authorities of their powers. And before anybody says that doesn't happen, it does. Recently, councillors who were making submissions were told the submissions they were making to their local authorities would be overturned by the Minister, or the Minister would have the final say. Surely local people should have the final say. Minister, traffic congestion. My colleague from Sinn Féin was talking about traffic congestion in Limerick. Traffic congestion is now a feature of Cork, Limerick, Galway, Waterford, Dublin and several other large towns in the country. With respect to Cork, Limerick and Galway, isn't it time now that we looked at financing light rail systems? There are a number of different systems that are available in the world other than the Lewis type system. Lewis is heavy rail and that's not good enough. I know that some people in Galway are currently exploring very light rail systems with Coventry County Council, and I think that that's something we should look at. The development of park and ride, if you're talking about Galway City, in Galway City it can take you 2 hours to get across the city, which is a relatively small city. Cork can be a nightmare, as I know you know yourself. I see time is running on, Minister. There needs to be a look at light rail as an alternative with decent park and ride. Brexit, the ports and the airports, Minister, very quickly, with respect to the ports, Dublin and Rosslare have done a huge amount of work to counter the effects of Brexit. We need to see Lolo developed more in Waterford because Ro-Ro is not available in that neck of the woods. We need to see Cork and Foynes ports developed, but we also need to look at the airports, and particularly places like Shannon, for export-import through air traffic. Laska Hirlock, you've been tolerant of me so far, so I'll take my seat. Thank you very much indeed.